So yeah, Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is a sequel to the 2014 film. Not the one directed by Hideaki Anno. That was in a different continuity. That's Shin Godzilla.
It's the sequel to the 2014
Yeah.
one. And it is part of the Monsterverse, which also has Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
And honestly, this was the movie I hoped for, and the movie I feared it would be. And we'll go into detail later, but I think this is the movie that I think most Godzilla fans were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got some cheesy acting, and it's got a bunch of dumb explosions. But I mean, it's what are you expecting in a Godzilla film? Like there's this one fun. I don't remember the funny scenes.
I mean, this is like sort of a popcorn movie that really embraces the sort of B movie plot that it would usually have. It's got like giant monsters, and these humans whose subplots kind of take up a lot of the, well, not a lot. You get more Godzilla, you get more of the monsters in here, but like obviously you need the human subplots just but at least they're useful.
Yeah, and then of course, what I really didn't like was how it was in like the first third of the film. At the end of the third act, they have the main scientist woman, who's the mother of the girl, Millie Bobby Brown, her mother, saying, "Oh, there's too much pollution and war going on. Therefore, I want to kill. I want to destroy the pollution and war by."
Yeah, that's the one character
and it was so in your face.
That was the one character I personally was not a huge fan of.
Yeah, we don't need your heavy-handed message and social commentary.
But
we want giant monsters to the shit out of each other.
The actress, like I think I've seen her in other movies, and she does play the, straight-laced woman with like a motive, like a vendetta against someone or something.
Here it's just, okay, I'm this brilliant scientist, and instead of creating ways like to make the world more eco-friendly through my intelligence,
I had no sympathy for her.
Yeah, like this, like why not? She's like this super genius. She's found a way to communicate with the monsters and creates this like sonar thing.
I'll be honest,
that emits this like sound wave and like 14 different frequencies to communicate with all the different monsters. I'm like, okay, you're smart enough to do that, but you're not smart enough to figure out a way to make a car that doesn't run on gas.
To be honest,
seriously.
To be honest, I was expecting her to be offed like very early on.
Yeah, instead they try to make her death more tragic than it should be. She dies when Godzilla unleashes his nuclear power, and at the end, and there's just like.
Anyway, we're diving way too deep.
It's just ridiculous. I'm like, okay, she's like, you're smart enough to create these things to control monsters and giant monsters and stuff. Why can't you just find a way to make the world more eco-friendly through making like electronic cars? And
we're diving deep down into this, but like.
Why couldn't you have made that there's this main bad guy who doesn't die?
Okay, I think that's enough about that. But like,
we forgot one bad guy. What's the main bad guy? The bald guy, the mean bad guy.
I don't know.
He's in the end credits.
I don't know. He's from Game of Thrones, and I don't know which character he plays.
I don't. He's basically there to make.
I don't know. I feel like. I'm happy that they didn't do the big bad military plot that they do in a lot of this like environmental friendly movies type of thing, which is a great step up, but it's like minor when it comes to like having like these villains in just like a villain. Like the monsters are enough.
Yeah.
Ghidorah, like this movie has Godzilla,
Ghidorah, it's got
Mothra, Rodan.
And Mothra is Godzilla's girlfriend in this movie.
Well, I mean, their relationship has always been kind of together in the movie.
I like the Easter eggs. Like there's this one they reference the first Godzilla movie and when they unleash this oxygen bomb that can like suck out all the oxygen in a 2-mile radius. It's a reference to the first ever Godzilla movie that came back in the 50s when they had when the doctor, the Japanese guy, used the oxygen bomb to turn Godzilla into a skeleton, and then he cuts his own oxygen cord to kill himself because he doesn't want the knowledge of how to make the weapon go into the evil hands.
Well, this time,
this time it's made by the American military, and they don't explain how they make it. They just like, we have this convenient plot device, and I wish they would have like gone more into that, like how they managed to make up this oxygen destroying bomb.
But here's what happens. You like for any Godzilla fans who know that this one kills Godzilla, there's a reason why it never worked again. It's because Godzilla, at some point during the movie, even though he's weak, he retreats to this hubris,
Yep.
where he sucks up a lot of the radiation.
Yeah, and then they revive him with this one Japanese guy, Dr. Ishiro, for his name. He sacrifices himself to
Serizawa.
Yeah, Serizawa, to blow himself up with
the same name as the doctor who sacrificed himself in the original
one,
movie.
Yeah. In the first one, only here the sacrifice didn't seem necessary. I mean, they needed him to because they couldn't control with a robotic pilot. They couldn't like get a robot to go into space because there's too much
too much radiation
interfering with the signals. They just need an excuse to have some Asian guy off himself. Anyway, also to pay homage to the first movie. Also, speaking of paying homage to the first movie, at the very end of the credits in this movie, they pay homage to the Japanese guy who was the original actor in the first ever Godzilla movie, who played the guy in the rubber suit, who played him for over 40 years, I believe, since 1954 to 1994.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's dedication. So he died back in 2017, and they show a picture of him at the end credits, at the very end of the end credits.
That was a
nice reference.
Great tribute.
Yeah, nice that this movie,
Speaking of which, the action with the monsters, as you know, it takes a while to get used to your eyes, just like watching so much of this.
We didn't see this in 3D, and I'm kind of glad we didn't, because if we did, it probably would have been so stimulating and so over the top. It just would have been ridiculous.
Maybe it was meant to be stimulating and over the top.
I know that, but it's there's so much convenient stuff going on. There's one scene where they find their daughter, the scientist guy, and his wife, the evil doctor lady, who suddenly turns good at the end, because she's like, oh, maybe killing half the planet is wrong. But she realizes now, and then she wants to go find her daughter, and then they conveniently happen to find her house is in Massachusetts, right next to where this like sound
amplifier.
In
Boston the entire time.
In Boston. Yeah, in Boston the entire time. She goes to her house because she needs to find this. She goes to the Boston Red Sox stadium. She finds this amplifier thing to amplify the.
She uses the whole PA system.
Millie
of
Bobby
the
Brown, the daughter, the 15-year-old.
Yeah,
she plays a 12-year-old, and that's another thing. So she's Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things in this movie. She does pretty well, and she has to amplify the sound wave of this device. So she has to go to this.
Yeah,
this
I think she was like the more. I think she was like the sane person. She was like, honestly, I wish that the woman scientist listened to her more, because
the moral here is that kids are always right, and when it comes to giant monster movies and dealing with apocalyptic events, kids are always in the right, and adults are always the stupid losers who make things worse. Like every time there's a movie that involves giant monsters or magic, the kids are always right.
Well, here's the thing: the adults actually did help a good amount with the monsters.
Yeah, only after the girl Millie Bobby Brown showed them how to. It reminds you of all the movies of monsters. Like, remember that movie Ernest Scared Stupid, where the kids are all remember?
No,
where
never
the kids are the smart ones, and the adults are the stupid morons who don't know how to do anything.
I don't think it was that heavy-handed.
I know. But speaking of which, I think the casting could have been better. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown, she's 15. She plays a 12-year-old, and she's kind of, I guess you can say she could pass for 12. They dress her up to make her look really mature, but she's very smart for her age. I guess they couldn't find an actress who looked a little bit younger, but she did okay.
I don't know. I think they just wanted her because she was in Stranger Things.
Exactly, Stranger Things.
That they had the professor, the science professor from like the Stranger Things as well.
They did?
Yeah, like the very beginning when they unleashed Mothra in larva form.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we've got that.
Obviously we're talking way too much about the human subplots.
Yeah, but what I like about the original Godzilla film, the one from 1954, was it 54 or 57? I'm not sure.
54.
54, yeah. There was some social commentary about how humanity is destroying itself, but it wasn't so shoved in your face to the point where like, okay, this is ridiculous. Well, in the first movie, it made sense because it was the first movie, and back in 1954, we were just entering the Cold War. It was the nuclear age.
Listen, well, first off, it was old. It was Japanese, and they were willing to. Yeah. I guess this was the first time they were going to do it. Now everyone knows Godzilla.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about this.
It's lost its mystique, and we just want to see Godzilla beat the shit out of people. And
Well,
we get that towards like the very tail end of the film, like the last 15 minutes.
We do get a lot of. We do get more action than we expected of Godzilla. I think it's enough that they decide to have like the quota was like half Godzilla, half monster subplot, half human subplot, and I honestly, I'm more forgiving because I think we had some great moments with the humans, but again, still a lot of fodder for still a lot of fodder. And we just wanted to see more monsters, which we do.
Yeah, and like they're saying that they're setting up this whole monsterverse with King Kong next. Like in the original Godzilla versus King Kong, it was originally going to be Godzilla versus Frankenstein's monster.
Well,
because Godzilla gets stronger from electricity.
But again,
King Kong gets stronger from electricity. So in this one, how are you gonna do it? Because King Kong is only like I remember James Rolfe even did a commentary on this once. King Kong is big, but he's only 25 feet tall. Well, Godzilla is 400 feet tall.
Well, the Kong and Skull Island is big. Is it just as big as Godzilla?
And can breathe atomic fire. So Godzilla's obviously got the upper hand. So how are they going to set this whole thing with King Kong? They're probably going to give him some like nuclear radiation power up.
I think they're I don't know. It's something that I would love to see in the next movie.
Yeah, well, I didn't see Kong Skull Island. I heard that it sucked ass. I mean, you got Samuel Jackson and two King Kong.
I actually kind of liked it.
Really? Like in a cheesy way or like a really actually was good way?
It's both.
Yeah.
But
so
speaking of this, like Godzilla, you have all these monsters and they quickly brought them together through, and obviously you have that orca thing, which is like the big kind of plot device for the entire
this thing
movie.
that can make sound waves that like emits monster waves, the sound waves that you can use to communicate with monsters. And
it really doesn't set too much apart from just bringing the monsters together. We see other monsters with Ghidorah calls them, and it's used in the most I guess where the plot deemed it necessary to.
Yeah, like I wish. I keep going back to that woman scientist thing. Like,
all right, enough.
We go to the fact that her son was killed off in the first movie. Why not have her motivation be, I want to get revenge on all these creatures because I don't want this to hurt any more people. So
the reason why we're talking about this because when the monsters are there, it's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Because and like there's some really good, there's some really good fights there. I think what they did with the motion capture and like designing the monster, the ways they move, and the ways they attack each other, and as well as the biology, especially with Godzilla and Ghidorah.
Like one thing I thought was kind of weird though was Godzilla's girlfriend, the Mothra. She nearly kills this black dragon thing, and then Rodan.
Yeah, Rodan.
Yeah. And at the very end, Rodan comes up and he's like, "Hey, homie, I'm glad we can be friends." I'm like, "Bitch, you tried to kill my girlfriend."
At this point, once Godzilla wins, and trust me, that Godzilla wins because he establishes himself as the king of the monsters. He took down Ghidorah, this three-headed beast that seemed to have like the throne to himself. Godzilla has the Iron Throne, and all the monsters are just his whipping boys now.
Well, what I really want to see is
I think that's why Rodan was like, "I'm sorry," because he knows, because like now, he had his master, his original master is gone. Now Godzilla can do whatever he wants with him, and you cross him. Boom! Atomic breath.
What I really want to see is Godzilla versus Gamera, which probably doesn't really happen because they're on two different studios. Are they on two different studios, or does Toho own Gamera? I forget.
It is two different studios, but it's Legendary Pictures, so I guess they can put like a. I guess they have like this. They can have like the same thing that like Marvel and Sony did with Spider-Man. I think they can pull it off.
I'm curious now, who owns Gamera?
Daiei.
Daiei, really?
I just know that from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just I really think that maybe we need another original monster, one that doesn't look like the Cloverfield monster.
I want to see. Okay. Upcoming monster I want to see. I want to see Mechagodzilla. I want to see Destroya, and I want to see what's the one from the one that I keep forgetting the name. They're not
Gigan, Anguirus. There are a ton of Godzilla.
I remember back
monsters.
when I was like 11, I was obsessed with Godzilla. Back in 2004 when the internet wasn't anywhere near as powerful as it was now.
It had Final War.
Yeah,
that was when Final Wars was
that was 2004. I remember this one when he fights like a crab monster, and then he has to rely on the help of he has to like team up with some other monster to fight this underwater crab monster.
Yeah, I heard of this. I don't know the monsters' names.
Yeah, like in this movie, they heavily imply that Godzilla came from Atlantis because like these. Then they go into water, they find this like underground ancient society. Like, is this Egyptian? No, it's even older than that. So it's implied that it's Atlantis. Like, why don't we just have more Atlantean monsters come up?
I think they're setting it up for what happens next after Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
And I it's what I expected. And like it delves deep in mythology, especially the ones that like cater to like all the monsters. And I kind of expected it. I mean, the director also did Krampus, which is also kind of mythology based. So
any final thoughts?
I would suggest you watch it just for the spectacle of the monsters.
You're gonna get what you want. I mean, you want monsters fighting each other. There's more of that here than there was in the last movie. But that surprisingly, I still think the 2014 movie had more heart to it because it was more character focused.
That's something I really liked about the 2014 is that they tried to. I think they moved into like different territory that wasn't just like the what we know Godzilla is like in like American terms. Like they focused on like some of the ideas from the original movie.
Yeah.
And this was something that like I really liked better than they did. They even did like the little subtle environmental subplot.
Was it subtle?
Well, I mean, it was. Well, the 2014
bad.
The 2014 did it better than here.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like a straight action movie, and I think that's what they were going for, and they succeeded with it. Whereas the 2014 succeeded in more of the like the idea of Godzilla rather than just like the power of God, like just like showing him off.
Yeah.
And I think they got the perfect director to make this kind of movie, just like they did with the 2014 one.
Yeah. So anything you're missing?
I think that's about it.
So, what's your favorite Godzilla movie? Mine's Final Wars from 2004. Because that's the one that got me into Godzilla. Was the one from 2004, Final Wars.
I gotta say the original. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Was it 1954 Godzilla?
1954.
2004 is Godzilla Final Wars. Is that?
Yeah.
Final.
I mean, if
Godzilla 2004 Japanese. Yeah, I remember. I saw the movie.
If we're gonna go with like more recent.
I
could go for.
It only grossed 12. This is nothing on Godzilla Final Wars. It only grossed $12 million against a $19.5 million budget. That's a shame.
Well, I mean, at this point they were retiring Godzilla for a reason until like very much later with Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, that was. How well did that movie do?
Again, a lot of my feelings towards that movie have are more subsided now. It still is kind of a chore to get through, but like then again, what other Godzilla movies are? Yeah.
So that's about it for Godzilla. Next, what's anything you want to see next? Or?
Well, hopefully Godzilla versus Kong.
Be good, yeah.
Yeah, will be a little better than this. And you know, I have hopes for it. I know the director has only had like sort of a good track record, but yeah, until then, stay off Monster Island, guys.
Yeah.